So, what does Magis mean to you personally?
Certainly they say that the Magis means more in the sense that it doesn't necessarily mean doing more things quantitatively, but qualitatively to go deeper into whatever it is that I'm doing, my work, my life at home with my family, so on and so forth. And so, I guess a way to I can, on my unhealthy days, the Magis means doing more and getting more things checked off my to-do list. But on my real healthy and life-giving days, Magis means getting into my work and getting into the present moment, whether it's with the person I'm with or the work in which I'm engaged. Getting into that, John, so it goes down to a level that's at a prayerful level, where other things just start to fade away in the present moment, the present person, and the present purpose totally takes over. So that's the Magis.
Can you give me some stories maybe about when maybe your kids or your wife have shown you how to live Magis?
Xavier's just going into middle school, and so it's a big transition year for him where he's got to go to a different classroom for each subject, and he's got a locker, and so it's he's been on a pretty big learning curve this year, and so it's been stressful for him to make that. And so I remember just a couple weeks ago sitting down at the table with him and just talking about it, and talking about why he made this jump, because it was partially his choice, and why he's kind of called to do his best, because he's smart enough, I think, if he didn't try, he'd get good grades, and so it's up to him if he wants to really try and push himself to excel. And so we were talking about that. And then, I said to him, Zave, I said, the reason why we push you to do well in school isn't about competing with somebody else or with always having to get A on your grade card. It's not about that. It's about creating opportunities for you so you can follow your dreams, whatever those dreams are. And he just kind of paused and he said, yeah. He said, happiness comes from within. And I just about fell out of my chair, because that was not, it's true, but I don't ever remember, sitting him down and trying to teach him that. And so, to feel that, that was a Magis moment, to say that, hey, Magis isn't necessarily about getting a greater score on your card. It's doing your best so you can follow dreams. So that was.
So going off that idea of God's plan for you, how do you deal with those times when it just seems like God's shifting you in a direction that you might not want to go?
The most poignant was dating Terry. So at that time, my girlfriend, I moved down. I graduated from college, moved down to the Detroit area to take an engineering job, but I specifically did my job search in that area because Terry was at University of Michigan. I wanted to be by her because I really cared about her and loved her and wanted to see where the relationship would go. And so later on, we're getting pretty serious, and she's in undergrad for architecture, and in order to practice as an architect, you have to have your grad degree. So she's looking at architecture schools, and she was very, very bright and had opportunities to go to UVA and Harvard and different places, or at least to have a legitimate shot to get into that caliber of a school. And going to the East Coast was not really what I had in mind, but I can remember we were sitting on North Campus, University of Michigan, eating Little Caesars pizza, and we'd been talking for weeks about this to try to figure out how we were going to do this. And then, over a pizza and a soda, I can just remember with tears in my eyes saying, wherever you go, that's where I want to go. And so that was not that was not easy at that time. But all I could do was follow my heart, and but yeah, I think God could have worked in my life and in Terry's life had we gone off and done something differently. But we tried to make the best decisions we could as things went along, followed our hearts, and this is where we are.
That's all I have for you. Thank you, Bill.
John
It's been a
Meyer.
pleasure.